Good morning, guys. I hope you're all doing well. We are back with another video. I promise you I'll be consistent, and that is what I'm going to do. So it is currently 6:20 in the morning. April, what's the date? Don't even know the date. 27th of April. Apologies, we are in a rush this morning, so this is day one of the dig. Woke up this morning, brand new low, 75.35, I believe it was. Pop an image up. Just went outside, done my first round of posing to send it over to my coach for this morning's check-in. Currently hydrating in between. I've already responded to clients, done my vacuums and planks, took my blood pressure, blood glucose, and fasted body temperature. So, plan of action today, there's been some big changes made. Some big changes made indeed. We now have a deadline of 2 weeks to wrap up fat loss, which means low food for the next 2 weeks. It also means 5 lots of cardio. So cardio every day except from on lower days. Try and save the legs a little bit from getting too battered. Starting with today. So I have moved gyms, so I'm training at Viking Gym today. This will be my first upper session out of there. Since joining. So far I've done 2 sessions, which were lower and anterior. I may start doing posterior out of there as well, just because it's a little bit closer, instead of going all the way over to Ultraflex. Apologies for drinking intermittently between this talking segment. I am in a rush to get there because I start work at 12, so ideally I need to get gym for 7, that way I can train for at least a couple of hours and then go straight into my cardio. After that, come back, get showered, get ready, and then head off to work. So today's video is just going to be a bit of a random one. I'm just going to pick up the camera, film everything I can, some talking segments. I will throw in some training clips from today and do a talking video over it, because I will be recording it on my camera rather than on the DJI, so you'll be getting some high quality clips coming your way, and hopefully it is useful for yourself. I'm sure it will be. Just me talking through some of these machines and kind of like the new split, all that kind of stuff. I'll cover a variety of things for you, but now we are getting hydrated and getting our morning supplements in. So omega-3 is going in now, multivitamin. I'm like a squirrel storing nuts. Pause. Some vitamin D. There we go, 13 or so tablets down the hatch. Now, one thing I would recommend to you guys is that if you have a busy day, the next day, or stuff planned, don't wait till that day to get things sorted. I've got all my drinks prepared, ready to go, so I can just grab them out the fridge and then leave today. I'm really trying to get determined to get there as early as possible so that I can not have to rush my session, take my time, play around with some new machines, find which one works best so I can then run that throughout this rotation, leading up for the remainder of the show. So to be time efficient, because it's now 6:25, I'm going to be a dirty little pig. I'm not actually going to get a shower before I go, I'm just going to get hydrated, get changed and head off. But the thing is, because of my body temperature at the moment, I'm basically like a cold-blooded mammal. I just don't sweat. Especially throughout the night, how I've got all my windows open plus a fan blasting in my face. So I'll just have a shower when I get back. Instead I'll just get changed and go. I'm sorry if this is horrible and inaudible, just me guzzling down water. But as I said, in a rush, need to get hydrated. We can have a bit more of a chill chat in the car, but yeah, 75.35 this morning, which is fucking very, very nice start to the week. New prep low, very, very happy with that. We will get the gut juice and hydration formula in now as well. Now I've had a couple bottles of this, so that's 1.4 litres of water down. This is aloe vera juice, glutamine, apple cider vinegar and water. Ice cold, right out the fridge. I actually really enjoy this drink. Oh, brain freeze. Jesus. So that helps with your stomach acid, your pH levels. Then aloe vera is also rich in vitamin C, glutamine, great for gut health and digestion. So it's just a overall good drink to have, and I actually find it really refreshing. I do enjoy it. Now we've got Trained by JP hydration formula, strawberry and pineapple. Oh, that is so good, so good. I was saying this on my Instagram the other day. I've always been a Hydroflow lemon and raspberry guy. That has been my go-to. I've tried a lot of different hydration formulas. Obviously, hydration is key. Ideally, you're getting 7 hours of sleep every single night. If you went all day working a 9 to 5 without having a drink, just think, how would you feel at the end of the day? Pretty goddamn shit. So, same concept. That's why you feel groggy. So you feel shit first thing in the morning. Get up, do some movement, hydrate. You'll be sorted. Hydrate then caffeinate. But Hydroflow lemon and raspberry was on the top spot for a while, a long while. And I really only stuck with Hydroflow products, to be fair, Contour Sport. I like the cherry one. I like the watermelon one. Pink lemonade one was decent as well. Orange soda, very mid. Berry, very mid. But this, Trained by JP, strawberry and pineapple, now takes the top spot for me. And I've also got an order on the way with another new one. From Engineered Muscle. So that is the OG coconut and cherry flavour alongside some more Turbo Dreams. So I'll give you a review of that. Morning. Yes, people. So had to cut the last segment a little bit short because my dad came into the kitchen. If you don't know, I still live at home, and whilst I don't feel awkward at all about like videoing myself vlogging now, I also I understand that that's not what he wants to come down to first thing in the morning. You know, he doesn't want to be on fucking camera. It's not really fair if I just carry on doing a fucking talking segment and he's having to like sneak around his own house feeling uncomfortable. So wrapped it up there, but now it is just us on the way to the gym, running a little bit behind, but nothing too bad. Was hoping to get to the gym 4-7, but we're leaving at 7 instead. But everything is packed and we are on the way. That is the main thing. Heating is on full blast on the car. It is a lovely, lovely morning and I am in a fantastic mood. Considering from now I've got 2 weeks of like low days. We've had a deadline, 2 weeks to finish fat loss. It's just a new short-term goal to work towards, another milestone throughout this prep, and it gives us a new target, right? So it's exciting because 2 weeks is fuck all. If someone offered you £1 million to run a fat loss phase for 2 weeks, you'd be like, yeah, what do I have to do? Oh, I have to do a bit of cardio 5 times a week. I have to eat 2,000 calories 5 times a week. It's, you know, you would do it, you wouldn't complain. So that's one way I kind of like trick myself, even though I enjoy the process and it's absolutely no issue doing all this stuff anyways. And I know I'm going to see some fucking sick changes out of it. But yeah, just think, how much do you value yourself? How much do you value your life, right? If someone fucking had if you're playing like Russian roulette and it's a 50-50 chance that you're going to get shot, right? But if you win £1 million. If you don't win, you're brown bread. Would you take that deal? Probably not, which means that your life's worth more than £1 million. So if you value your life at more than £1 million, then invest in yourself in like ways like this, okay? I know this is a bit of a mad analogy, bit of a tangent, but yeah, how much do you value yourself? Because you are the most important thing in your world. You need to be selfish, alright? But anyways, going back to what I was saying before, yeah, just placed a little order from Engineered Muscle. So got the OG Catalyst cherry coconut flavour, as well as some Turbo Dreams. So I have tried a variety of sleep supplements to try and help me throughout prep, and I basically started off with Turbo Dreams, but with the engineered products, they are expensive, don't get me wrong, because they're so well dosed. So I just try to buy each individual ingredient and then kind of like figure out what worked best for me. And then I did get it to a point where like my sleep was improved, but now like I had just been waking up a lot more consistently throughout the night, and I was finding that my sleep, you know, was taking a bit of a hit lately as I'm getting towards like the later stages of prep. So I had some leftover Turbo Dreams and tried that again, and that was the first night that I actually slept through. My recovery was way better in relation to like my tracker. So I've just ordered it again. I've ordered 2 months worth. That should get me through the remainder of prep. Considering as of today we are just under 6 weeks out, just over like, but yeah, just under 6 weeks out, 9 weeks out and 10 weeks out. So at the end of this week it will be 5, 7 and 9. So it is really like flying over now. But yeah, sleep is one of those where if I get a bad night, I definitely feel it a lot more, and you know, it's your biggest recovery tool. So whatever I can do to improve my sleep, I'm going to do. Now, upper session about to go down, very excited to hit that. I'm still getting hydrated on the way to the gym. as of right now. So that's why I've got my water with me. I've got my pump formula. For my pump formula, I've been using the Perform Fizzy Cherry. Really, really nice flavour. I've also added some glyceride powder to that to help with the efficacy of it. Also helps with hydration. Forgot I actually had any, so I've just been running the pump formula without it for quite a while. And even then, it was still working really, really well. Especially as, you know, again, towards this stage of prep, as your pumps start to diminish, I think it's like a must. It's a non-stim formula that I use because I'm already getting stimmed from, I have a black coffee in the morning. I've also got a Monster with me as well. I have a little bit of a gap in between the two just to help with that kind of, I don't want a huge dose of caffeine all going in at once. I want to split the dosage so that I'm not taking in as much at once, and just kind of help with that. With my Monster, I've got the Rossi flavour today. We'll crack that open as we were about 10 minutes away from the gym, but I do metabolise everything quite quickly at the moment. Obviously I'm training fasted as well, with no detriment to my training. I actually prefer just training fasted, and then I get my training done first thing in the morning. It's over and done with, and sets me up for the rest of the day to get crack on with work. But yeah, I haven't actually noticed, whoa, turning. But I haven't noticed any detriment to my training by training fasted whatsoever. And it is something that I will continue to do until I do notice that there is any negative impact on that. So for now I'll keep that going. But yeah, with my Monster, I've got a little method where I'll leave it in the fridge overnight, then 20 minutes before I need to go, I will stick it in the freezer, and it comes out the perfect temperature. The flavour is unbelievable that way, and it really just makes your Monster 10 out of 10 every single time. But anyways, now I'm going to put down the camera because I am about to go through the tunnel, and I don't really fancy getting fined. So I'll catch you guys. Well, like I say, I'm going to record the session on my camera. I'll talk you through it, and then we will catch up after that. So peace out. Alright, let's talk through the training. So to begin that upper day, I'm starting off with a close grip pull down. One that I was running very frequently in the off season, so it's a movement I'm comfortable with. There was a few different machines that I could have potentially used here, but at the same time I just wanted to use something familiar. I didn't want to change it up too much. Here it allows me to keep that tucked elbow path. It allows me to keep my arms in front of me throughout. Like I said, it's a movement I'm familiar with at this stage in prep. Whilst it's great to have a variety of machines available, since I'm training out with a new gym, I kind of want to keep them as close as possible. This was the best one for me that I know that I respond well to, one that I can execute to a high standard. Really just trying to keep my arms out in front of me the whole time, ensuring that I'm effectively working the lats here. So use that, then moved on to this flat press by Gym Let Go. So I do already have a flat press at Graph Gym. So again, keeping the movement patterns very similar. This is not the time to be switching up too drastically. And with this, the Gym Let Go stuff is definitely designed for like more compact gyms, but this is a really nice machine. Felt a bit nicer than the one that we have at Graft, the Primal variation, but yeah, there's not really too much to say here. It's a flat chest press, you know what I mean? You can't really go wrong. If you mess up the design of this, you should probably quit making machines, in all honesty. But yeah, really pushing through those reps, still training with as much intensity as possible, but just not taking any sloppy 50-50 reps. Now, here is one that I have decided to add in, which is this Nautilus Nitro. single arm row. So I was using a cable for this, but this is a machine I've been dying to use for a long time, and it did not disappoint. Lines up very nicely to effectively work the lats. With this, I'm going with like you can't really tell from the video, but I am going with a semi-supinated grip. Just looks like my hands in a bit more of a neutral position. I'm not super like off, but yeah, semi-supinated position. Again, keeping that elbow pointing towards the ground, trying to keep my arm as close to my side as possible. No excessive arching, no excessive rotation, just a little bit of thoracic extension, trying to remain proud at the chest. Even here, when I'm struggling, you can see I'm trying to persevere through those reps. I do use a little bit of rotation to help me just get that final rep, but nothing overly excessive, and keeping form fixed all the way throughout. Then we've got the cuffed clavicular fly. So again, one that I was running at my previous gym, no switch up here, and another one that I've been running previously, or have run previously in the off season, and various other kind of like phases and splits. So a movement I respond well to. With this, I do have the bench at around about a 30-degree angle. Obviously here I'm trying to hit the top line of my pec. I'm trying to work those upper pec fibers. So with here, what I'm trying to think of is horizontal adduction, which is moving your arm across your body, as well as shoulder flexion, which is slightly coming up in like an upward direction. So I'm not sure if you can fully make out from this angle, but that is the way that my arm is traveling. It's traveling obviously across, but slightly up as well. So the cable's set slightly out in front, but still so that the cable is in line with my upper arm, and I can just travel very, very nicely to hit that, right? Cuffs by the elbows to create the most amount of tension through the chest. Really thinking of bringing my elbows together rather than my hands. Okay, that is how you fully shorten your pec a lot more effectively. I close my hands on the last rep because it does just tend to help when you're struggling towards the end, when you get fatigued, to give that little bit of an extra boost. Now, lying cuff laterals here, another movement that I've been running frequently, and I've been running for years, so I'm very comfortable doing this one. They don't actually have really any lateral raise machines there. They have like a standing one, but gave it a go, wasn't really a fan, would rather stick with this, especially when they've got these Cybex Bravo cables. They are just so smooth. I'm a huge fan of these. I wish I would use them earlier than I have been able to now. But cues for this one, I'm driving my arm down into the floor and then driving it out and away. Okay, that allows me to prevent excessive amounts of shoulder elevation. Again, closing my fists here, but the traps, they stabilize the shoulder, right? So naturally you will lift up a little bit, but I'm just trying to avoid excessive amounts. Then yeah, I get stuck here and just realize it's not budging. We will go another day. Now, another Nautilus machine getting thrown in the mix, the Nautilus Nitro overhead press. So with this, I trialed the kind of like outer grip and then the more neutral grip, and I found that the neutral grip worked better for me. I got a better response in my front delt, so I'll be running it this way. I've got the plank of wood underneath my feet just to help with bracing. It helps me to keep my rib cage over my pelvis, not flaring at the rib cage, keeping everything tucked, keeping my core braced all the way throughout, so I'm nice and stable, nice strong sturdy base throughout the movement. And really, when I'm doing this, again, I'm trying to keep my shoulders depressed. I'm driving everything through my elbows here. This machine feels very light, then all of a sudden it will just catch up to you and your delts will be burning. So you can see here, again, no sloppy reps. Now this, oh my god, I couldn't decide on what upper back movement to do. There was a Arsenal kind of like low row here that I was debating on using, but someone jumped on it, couldn't be asked to wait, so went back to the T-bar, even though in the previous pull day video I was explaining why I moved away from the T-bar in favour of the extreme row. But with this one, it has a lot more like flexibility to adjust, so you can adjust the chest pad, you can adjust the foot platform, you can adjust the handle width, and also the handles move on like an axis, so I could really go with like a nice overhand kind of grip here, allow me to flare the elbows, and I think it lines up very well to target my upper back. But my god, is this machine heavy. Like, I tried it without any weight and I was like, this feels pretty heavy. Then I put 2 plates on and I was like, oh my, well, not even plates, like a 10 aside, and I was like, this is fucking, like, it felt way more than like 20 kilos. But yeah, you can see here, persevering through that sticking point little bit of momentum used at the end just to get the full contraction at the top. No harm in cheating right at the end, even if it is just like, it's not excessive cheating, it's minimal. Then for the final movement, again, we are back on these cables. You would think that I would be in a relationship with the cables at this point because of how many times I've used them today, but again, they didn't actually have any tricep machines at this gym, and for me, that's not an issue, right? A tricep machine's nice every now and then. Oh, they've got a dip machine actually, but I would just prefer using cables, to be honest. The setup, the constant tension throughout the movement. So here I'm going with a cross cable tricep extension, one that I've been running for years again. So it's a movement that I'm comfortable with. It's a movement that I respond great to. Here I'm thinking of my shoulders and elbows as like a counter force. Okay, so I'm driving my shoulders down and keeping my elbows pinned back, and then everything is being driven through elbow extension. So I like to lean over slightly. Feels like it gives me a bit less restriction when it comes to these movements, and that's it. Upper session done. A very, very good session. So I've now done a full rotation of this new split at Viking. Tested all the machines out, seen which ones I like, seen which ones I don't like, and I'll be running them now going forwards. So as I was saying, a very good session until the end, just because as I was packing up, and like I spent 2.5 hours doing that session, right? Obviously I was testing some machines out. Now it'll be a lot faster, I'll be a lot more efficient in and out the gym, now that I know like which machines I want to use. But this is why I gave myself a little bit of extra time to get there, so I could play around with it. And 10 minutes, well, for fucking 10 minutes at the end, as I was like packing everything up, I thought I'd lost my lens cap for my camera, so I was like searching everywhere for it. I emptied my bag like 3 times, thinking like, how has it fell out? Because I put it in like the little inside pocket. It's only a little thing as well, there's like no way it could have fucking fallen out. So I spent 10 minutes looking for that, pacing around the gym, starting to get stressed out. I'm like, right, relax, because the more stress you get, like the less likely you're going to be able to find it. I swear I checked my pockets, but after emptying my bag for a 3rd time, I popped my pocket down again and the lens cap was in my pocket the whole fucking time. So 10 minutes wasted. I'm going to get back for about 10:25. I'm going to quickly get changed, jump on the bike, and then do my cardio. I would have done cardio there, but they only had spin bikes, and at this point, when I'm quite low levels of like body fat, the spin bike is not the most comfortable on the old arse cheeks, when you're pretty much all bone, or it feels like you're all bone. So I would rather just go home and use my own stationary bike. Makes more sense, rather be comfortable. So still got plenty of time. Just means that like I'll have to push pretty hard initially to try and get my heart rate up a little bit faster, but I feel good. Hopefully, I don't cool down too much on the way back home. My heart rate stays a little bit elevated, so that I can just get on and get to it straight away without much need to warm up. But like I said, this is me kind of like cutting back and forth between the two, because I will have just done my talk over for that training session with the clips that I recorded. If you don't follow me on Instagram, go follow me. My name is Immerse Fitness, EMMERSE Fitness, all one word, no like underscores or anything like that. And I post regularly on there. I try to post like 3-4 times a week. Really trying to grow the Instagram at the moment, grow the coaching, grow the YouTube, grow everything, right? But yeah, overall, like a really good session. I'm very happy with the equipment that's available at Viking. That is definitely going to be my new home gym now. I'll tell you what though, that fucking Arsenal T-bar row is ridiculously heavy. I couldn't decide whether to use that, the like Cybex rear delt pin loaded machine, the Arsenal like low row. There's a few, and this is the thing, this is why I gave myself extra time, because I was like playing around. With me, upper back at the moment is an area which I don't think I've been hitting that effectively. just down to potentially like my setup. Like you can see from my form, I'm not sloppy with my form, like I'm very form focused, but I obviously just wasn't hitting it that effectively. And also back was like a priority area for us to like bring up during the off season. That and my quads came up loads, and they've held that size. But I think with my back, it just lacks that like maturity. You got to think in a deficit, like because I haven't gave it that muscle the time it needs to mature. It's going to be the first to go, unfortunately. So my upper back is looking like very flat. The middle of my back is like conditioned, detailed, looks pretty good. But yeah, around like the trap area, this seems to be like the problem area for me at the moment. This seems to be the area that just looks like there's not really too much going on. So although like, you know, I'm at a stage where I'm not going to grow anymore into the show, it's all about maintenance, but I would still like to like hit it to try and give it maybe a bit more like fullness, try and just stimulate it like a little bit more, see if like anything I can do anything to like help the look. But this is why I've just been like a little bit more selective about what I've been using. Obviously now it's not good to be switching machines all the time because it makes it very hard to like track your progression. And lately I've went from the T-bar at Graft to then using like the extreme row with an overhand grip to try and give my upper back a little bit more focus. Then I've moved gyms, and now I'm using a T-bar again. Well, I used the T-bar today, but I think I'm probably just gonna have to stick with that. I did like the way that you're able to adjust the Arsenal one. You can move the handles out. You can adjust like the foot platform as well, and then also the handles are on kind of like axis, so you can twist them the way you want, whether you want to do like overhand, semi-supinated, whatever it is. So I got it to align very nicely. It is just very it's just very heavy. Like bear in mind the one at Graft, during the off season I had it up to like 4 plates and I was rowing that like very comfortably. This one I had on like 25 kilos and I just about got 7, which is fucking, yeah, big drop off, but obviously like it's a different machine, isn't it? But even when I was just like trying it without any weight on, like it felt heavy for considering I had no weight on, but I was still thinking I'd be able to get it up more than I did. It was like as soon as I put a plate on its side, I was like, holy fuck, what is someone turning the gravity up in here? ultra cope. But I'm about 5 minutes away from home now, so it is literally just going to be quickly getting changed into the cardio gear and then pushing it nice and fast out the gate, and then get this half an hour rattled off so that we finish close enough to 11. That then gives me enough time to get showered, hopefully have my rice pudding at home. I do prefer having to like being able to eat it from the comfort of my own home rather than having to take all my meals to work, because I'm going to have 2 there today. I'm on the desk 12 till 4:30, and I've got a client in at that time as well, from like 4 or 4:30 till 5:30, just depending on when he can get away. Hopefully it's earlier, but yeah, that's why I pack 2 meals with me, because I'll have my first one after doing cardio. I'll then have my second one around like 1 o'clock. Then depending on what time my client comes in, I will either have another meal before, or I will just wait until after, if you can get there a little bit earlier. But yeah, feeling good, feeling strong. Last night had a good sleep, even though I did wake up during the night to go for a piss. I managed to get straight back to sleep, and then the second time round, it was actually my alarm that woke me up. I felt pretty like awake. I was a little bit concerned after I went to the toilet that I wasn't going to be able to get to sleep for a while. I was like, oh fuck, am I going to have to get the old book out and read that, try and numb my brain a bit? But managed to get back to sleep, and then yeah, I felt pretty like
dazed when I got up. I was like, whoa, I must have like actually went back into a pretty deep sleep there. Just a sign that my body probably needed it after 3 bad sleeps last week. 3 days in a row, like 3 consecutive bad sleeps in a row. But anyways, I am close to pulling up to home now, so I'm going to put the camera down so that I can just quickly get everything set up and straight into it. Alright, so I will catch up with you after cardio is done and when it is time for meal 1, hopefully from home. And just cardio is done. Sun was out, so I'm very glad that I went home now because I was able to take the bike outside, get a little bit of sunlight on my skin, a little bit of vitamin D. No need for the sunbeds this time around anyways. But I was going to pick up the camera and like talk during cardio, but I'd rather just focus on keeping my heart rate up without any distractions, like really just focus on it. Luckily, when I first got on, my heart rate was already around 100ish. Got up to 120 pretty quick, but was felt like I was pushing at like what would normally have my heart rate at 140, but it was just staying at 120 until about the 20th minute. But legs don't feel heavy or anything like that, luckily. Just couldn't get the heart rate up until 20 minutes in, but still a good target that I normally aim for, and what I've used consistently with my Whoop is if my heart rate's under, then obviously the next thing is like calorie target. So I normally just take 50 calories off like the time limit. What I mean by that is I've done 30 minutes there, so my calorie target is like 250, okay, because I know that's like a good sustained effort, and normally where I would like land around from like a when I'm pushing with a little bit of a higher like heart rate anyways. So it's a good little range to be in. Just doing a little cool down now. I'll fucking text my brother about halfway through because I was like, oh, sun's out, it's gone a bit overcast now, but sun was out, and I was like, right, get my top off, get a bit of sun on my skin. And as I was doing that, my mic fell off my cap, my left earphone fell out, and I was like, I am not getting off the bike to pick that up because otherwise I'm not risking like my heart rate coming down and having to rapidly fucking jump back on to try and get it back up. So I texted him and he very kindly came down and gave me my earphone and the mic back. But just for reference, here it is. Don't know if you're going to be able to see that because of the glare, but yeah, 264 calories, average heart rate 127, max heart rate was 143 for half an hour. So it is 10 past 11 now. I've just done a few minutes to cool down. I'm going to get off. One thing I didn't do was a little dead hang after training, so because I trained some like back movements, and also with the dead hangs I do actually get a nice stretch in my chest as well, depending on how I'm like angling my rib cage. So just a little stretch off there, aid the old shoulder mobility, because that's one thing I struggle with anyways when it's getting into my posing. But yeah, I'll do that. You're probably not going to want to see that. Who the fuck wants to watch me hang from a bar? Boring as fuck. So catch up with you guys soon. Back in the car again. This may as well be fucking Top Gear, the amount of travelling I do. On the way to work now. Fairly quick turnaround from getting back from the gym. Cardio got done, showered, bags packed. Forgot to pack a couple of meals. I didn't have time for meal 1 in the end, so I ended up having to pack that. Forgot to also pack my fruit last night, so that was the last minute one, alongside filling up all my fluids. I would rather bring too much to work than not enough, so I take like 4 litres of water with me. I bring a thing of juice. I've got some electrolytes here. I've got my kombucha to go with meal 1, just to again help with my digestion. It's got a lot of like live and active ingredients in it, which are great for your gut. So that's consumed with meal 1. But once I get to work, it's going to be a case of sitting down, have meal 1, and then I'll get some work done, well, some more work done from there.
I'll also show you how I'm making rice pudding. So ESN rice pudding, something that I previously hadn't had before until this prep, and even in this prep we've only just added it in now instead of cream of rice. So I had no idea how to make it, and I've just ended up playing around with it a little bit. I pretty much had it like nailed the first time round, but I'm just going off kind of like the recommendations that I'd seen. So Jack Eagles, I went back because I know he has it with like, he's been having it for years. He has it fucking multiple times a day sometimes, and he had said a 3-to-1 ratio of water to rice pudding, but I believe that was with the old recipe. They've like got a new formula now, so I just ran with that one and it worked fine. But because with my meal one it is rice pudding with blueberries, dark chocolate and whey, what I would do is I would put the frozen berries in with the rice pudding before pouring the boiling water on top, just because obviously I don't want the rice pudding to be hot and then put the frozen blueberries in, then obviously they're holding fluids, they're frozen, and it like just bring the core temperature down. Like I want like a hot meal. So I tried putting the blueberries in with the rice pudding at first, pouring the boiling water on, and it would just kind of like come out like lukewarm, because I want the chocolate to melt on top, right? Like we want to enjoy every single meal that we've got, because we are low on food. Like food is at like 2,000 calories at the moment. So yeah, I want to make the most of every meal. So then I was like, fuck it, I'll just experiment. So I prepared it that way, and then I banged it in the microwave after for like a minute, gave it a stir, put it back in the microwave for another like 30 seconds to a minute, gave it a stir, then added the whey, and oh my god, we have cracked it. We've absolutely cracked it. So it comes out like the consistency of oat, which is what I'm like looking for from it. Like obviously it doesn't taste as good. Like the rice pudding is it's labelled as a neutral flavour, and it definitely is like very neutral. You need a good amount of whey in there for it to kind of like taste of anything really. But like compared to like rice, cream of rice, because even with that, like I buy neutral flavours, right? Like a salted caramel, white chocolate coconut, Trade by JP ones. I haven't tried the strong ones yet. I am waiting to buy some of those because I do have a few bags, and it's like I'm having to spend so much on supplements at the moment anyways. I'll just save my money and I'll wait until I can have like an actual decent bowl, because I've got 3 kilos of rice pudding there now. It makes no sense like buying some more cream of rice. But yeah, normally, because a lot of people, they do the whey drip. I'm not a fan. I prefer mixing my protein powders in, because I prefer like a thicker consistency, and then also I want the taste from that. Like, why buy a nice protein powder if, I don't know, obviously like with the whey drip you put it on top anyways, but I just don't think to me it tastes a bit like diluted, as opposed to like if you actually put it in with the main bulk of what you're having. So yeah, normally, like I said, with the cream of rice I go for like neutral flavours. Like cream of rice, I think it can taste pretty like artificial, and I love sweet things, but these aren't sweet, they just almost taste like chemically, so I would rather take away that chemical taste. I'm really not pushing, I'm really not advertising cream of rice very well here, but I actually love it, right? But it's just like it all comes down to the cooking method. Once I figured out the cooking method, because the first one I tried it I thought it was shit, then when I figured out the cooking method I was like, yeah, this is fucking banging, and I really enjoy it. But anyways, I'm putting up the work now, so I will show you how I make the rice pudding in a minute.
And we have arrived at work, so I've came in, done all my jobs. Now it is meal 1 time, the rice pudding. So you can see here, brought a glass bowl so I can pour the boiling water in. Obviously can't pour boiling water in a plastic Tupperware, so I have to bring a glass home from home. Apologies, ma'am. Kettle is just boiled, so I know I was saying like 3-to-1 ratio before, but what I do is 4-to-1. That's not taking the piss in terms of like volumizing. That's how I do my cream of rice. It's how I've always done it, and this is what I found for me gets the best and the desired consistency I want. So 200 grams of water, weigh out there,
grams milliliters, same thing. Now I will stir it until it thickens up a little bit. Doesn't take long for it to thicken up in consistency. Oh, I'm very ready for this now. It is 12:30 and this is first thing I've ate today, other than first thing I've ate today. Obviously I've had like some calories from like the aloe vera juice and the electrolytes and that, but and I had some intro workouts, so yeah, I've had a little bit in, but nothing with any sustenance to it. Right, that is starting to thicken up a bit now. Keep stirring. I actually remembered to put my sweet cinnamon in today. When I was working on the desk yesterday, I completely forgot to bring my cinnamon, and I noticed it. Sweet cinnamon, if you haven't tried it already, give it a whirl. Absolute game changer. I remember when I first tried it, I was like, this doesn't taste any different to regular cinnamon. Don't see what all the fuss is about. Then I went back to sweet cinnamon because back to regular cinnamon because I went out with sweet. And I went back to sweet again, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, I can 100% taste the difference here. So that gets slammed on like a lot of my meals now. So it goes on this rice pudding meal, it goes on my chicken and rice meal, and it goes on my yogurt meal at the end of the day. Right, so this is how we're looking. It's still a little bit like runny for my liking, even after stirring, which is where the microwave now comes in. So I'll put that in for a minute and give it a stir. This microwave doesn't have like a clock on it, so I'll just time it on my phone. Right, timer started. So we'll take it out after a minute, give it another stir, and then see if it needs to go back in for another 30 seconds, 45 seconds to a minute. It's all just going to vary depending on kind of like what consistency you want, but I've found this is what works best for me, and this is what gives the best kind of taste. Obviously now that it's going in the microwave as well, it's going to be piping hot, which means when I actually put my dark chocolate on, it's going to melt, and that is the absolute game changer when it comes to this meal. I've got the Naughty Boy chocolate orange whey to go with this one, and I've been loving the Naughty Boy products. I alternate between like them and Perform. I started off with Perform and I've tried pretty much every flavour, so I was like, I'll switch. Actually, I was gifted a tub of the Naughty Boy one by my coach. He gave me the cinnamon bun one, and I thought it was actually better than the Perform cinnamon donut one. So I was like, after that, I was like, well, I've pretty much maxed out all the Perform ones and getting a little bit of like flavour fatigue here, so let me go through the Naughty Boy itinerary. And I love their protein at the moment. Not just at the moment, but ever since I've been using it, I've been like fully converted. I've got no issues digesting whey concentrate, and I think that does just provide more of the consistency and flavour that I'm looking for than like an isolate. I'm really not like an isolate fan. I think it just tastes again like kind of like watered down, so not for me. But obviously if you can't digest concentrate, or you suffer, fuck, it's hot, any kind of like bloating or issues there, then go for what works for you. But for me, I've always had I've never had any issues with digestion, luckily. So yeah, whey concentrate for me. Now the flavours that I've got at the moment, I didn't go a little bit prep crazy and buy a bunch just so that I could alternate really and not really get like flavour fatigue. So I've got the chocolate orange one that's going in today. That's like a solid flavour, works well in cream of ice with trained by JP, chocolate hazelnut. I've got the carrot cake one. Carrot cake is probably my favourite. I've also got the salted caramel sticky toffee pudding. I've definitely got more raspberry ripple and peanut butter blondie. I think that is all of the naughty boy ones. And then I've got Perform blueberry muffin, and then like a cookies and cream one, which has just been sitting there for ages. I did just try the one of those new Perform flavours the other day, which was the like the French toast maple syrup one. Had that in my oats on Saturday because I got given a high day before we started this 2 weeks of low days. Yeah, it was alright. It wasn't I wasn't blown away by it, but it's not really like from like the new ones that they released. There was like the caterpillar one, cinnamon cereal milk or something, then cinnamon churro, and for me I was just thinking those will definitely just taste the same as the like the cinnamon donut one, so it's a bit pointless trying. And there's like the raspberry white chocolate matcha, and I was like kind of intrigued by it, so I bought a couple of sachets of that as well, but I haven't tried it yet. I'll wait until after the show, because I don't want to like make I don't want to make like oats or like my yogurt balls or something with like that flavour and then be like, yeah, this is rank, because it does. I'm not a matcha person. I've like had a sip of someone's from the gym once, and I thought I didn't see what the fucking appeal was with it at all. It just tasted like absolute earth, and I'm not trying to be like a worm. Even though I've seen in the reviews or people talking about it, they say it just tastes like you can't actually taste the matcha, it just tastes like raspberry. Right, so I've got it to a consistency that I want, like close enough, and then the protein powder will now thicken this up, so we will give this another stir. So yeah, I stop cooking it when it's like just before the consistency that I want, and then I let the whey thicken it up and do its thing. So we will carry on stirring here. Oh, it smells unreal. Chocolate orange, so a chocolatey orangey rice pudding, and then obviously the dark chocolate is going to go on top, and this is nice and piping hot. So as I've said, this is going to melt. The only thing it's missing is a little bit of salt to go on top. I do like that. I do like the salty flavours. I do have a lot of salt with all my meals, sodium and potassium. Right, I'll quickly show you how it's like turned out here. So now you can see the consistency. That is like how I like my oats. Nice and thick with 3 C's. Come on, focus on my face, man. So I'll keep stirring that. Put a little bit of whey on the spoon there. Can't be missing that. Get that all mixed in. Right, now viewers' discretion is advised, because this isn't going to be pretty, but I don't have anything to chop my dark chocolate up, so what I have been doing is just taking it on bites and spit it on top. Time efficient. Because dark chocolate is an absolute nightmare to try and like snap off. You never get it in the sizes that you want. Now in like little bitty bits, so I can create those pockets in, but I'm not going to record the rest of this because it is fairly grim. And now you got chocolate fucking hair in my teeth. Ugh, right, definitely cutting it here. There we go, here's the finished product. I haven't actually fully figured out how to use this fucking DJI. Why won't it fucking... How do I get it to look down? Not zoom. Oh mate, what the hell is it doing? I'll turn it around, that'll be easier. Okay, so finished product. That is how it is looking. I cannot wait to be tucking into this, and then I leave a little square of dark chocolate on the side as a little treat as well. So I'm going to get it tucked into this, then I'm going to sit down, do work for a few hours, and before PTing later on.
So I'll catch up with you in a bit.
Alright guys, we're back from work. So 4.5 hour shift done, little PT session done as well. Most of the day's wrapped up, to be fair. I've just got around about 3,000 steps left to do. Got some posing rounds to do for the day. And then, yeah, I'm going to crack on and make some content. Just had meal 2 at work. My client was able to get in a little bit earlier, so I came back and had meal 3 at home. I don't know what it is, but it always feels so much nicer just being able to have your meals at home rather than like at work in like that comfortable setting. But yeah, just gonna get set up for the rest of the night. Like I've just finished editing the previous 2 videos before this, and I've realised they're like 2 hours long, and I think I've just been rambling on a bit too long in these videos. Right? Realistically, who's gonna sit and watch like 2 hours of these? So I need to dial that in, right? And this is only video like number 5, I think. Like I said, I've just been playing catch up here. I'm just trying to get like up to speed with everything and actually get some like videos out. So from now, I'm going to be a bit more like methodical with the approach. Actually have them like tailored around certain topics, so that they're not just like random thrown together videos. So we've went from a really well thought out video that took ages to make in the first one to a 11-week break to the second one, the return, which was like a mic'd up pull day, me talking through the session, plus an apology for taking so long away, to a day in the life kind of one. Well, not day in the life, but my trip down to Nottingham to see my posing coach, then actual day in the life on a rest day, to now this one, which is the beginning of the dig, 2 weeks left of fat loss. So now, you know, I've actually got some like interesting stuff to like kind of go through, because these next 2 weeks we're going to see some massive changes within the physique. We're going to see some big changes. There's probably going to be some highs. There's definitely going to be some fucking lows. There's already technically lows because it's low days every single day, but I feel like I've been responding better to the low days than the high days, weirdly enough. Like my energy feels better, more consistent. I don't even know how to explain that one, but you know, I'm not going to complain, because if I've got 2 weeks of that, then I should absolutely be fine for these next 2 weeks. But yeah, I am going to be a lot more like methodical with the videos. I'm not going to have them rambling on as long as like I have been, and I'll try and condense them down so that they're more like 20 minutes to 40, maybe the odd ones like an hour if there's loads to go through, especially like around like show week as well. I think those ones will be better, like they actually warrant a little bit longer. But for these ones, right, full days of eating, day in the life, mic'd up training, all these kind of things, I'm probably going to keep similar videos, but then when something else gets thrown in the mix, like if I get a high day, something like that, I'll just document it, right? I'll just pick up the camera and we'll just go from there. But yeah, I will try and like condense them more so they're a lot more like watchable for you guys. Yeah, and we'll just see how it goes. I'm just doing this for fun. I don't ever expect to like make money from YouTube or blow up on YouTube, to be honest. I mean, it would be nice. It would be fantastic, in fact, because YouTube's one thing I've always wanted to do. But you've got to be realistic with these things, you know. The likelihood is it probably won't ever, but it's a good way to get myself out there, show you guys what I'm really like, and yeah, just carry on making content. The more that you do, the better you'll get at it, ultimately, like with anything. So I'm going to crack on with those other bits and bobs that I've got now. Make sure I don't ramble on too long here, because I don't want this to be another fucking hour-long video. I'll catch up with you guys in a bit.